The Jedi had failed. For nearly 1,000 years, they had fought to contain the Sith, but the tide of darkness refused to break. Planets burned, Republic fleets collapsed, and even the Jedi Council, ancient guardians of peace, had splintered into indecision and silence. But amid this chaos, one man stood firm, a warrior of unshakable conviction, a Jedi who defied the High Council and dared to raise an army against the rising Brotherhood of Darkness. His name was Lord Hoth, a battlefield legend, a Jedi general, and a man who would lead the Republic's last hope into the fires of the new Sith Wars. But who was Lord Hoth before the war? What drove him to defy the Jedi Council and form the Army of Light? And how did one man's desperate crusade become the most devastating Jedi-Sith conflict in galactic history? The final days of the Galactic Republic's Dark Age were anything but quiet. For nearly 1,000 years, the Jedi and Sith had waged shadow wars, clashing in the alleys of Coruscant, in the marshes of Mimban, and across the hyperspace lanes of the Outer Rim. But nothing prepared the galaxy for the chaos that would erupt with the rise of the Brotherhood of Darkness. Led by the charismatic and cunning Lord Kaan, the Brotherhood was a new breed of Sith, united under a single banner, yet plagued by internal ambition. This was not the rule of two. This was many, a league of Dark Lords who had sworn an uneasy truce to fight the Jedi together for now. But what made Kaan different from all the Sith who came before him? And how did this vision threaten to reshape the very foundation of the Force? Unlike Darth Bane, who would later call Kaan a fool, the Jedi Council initially underestimated him. His Brotherhood swiftly took world after world, stealing planetary governments, toppling Jedi enclaves, and converting fallen Jedi into Sith Lords by the dozen. Planets like Iridonia, Malrav 4, and even Juro fell into darkness. The Jedi Order, fractured and indecisive, debated endlessly. But on the war-torn world of Ruusan, one voice cut through the fog of caution and compromise. Hoth. He was not born to lead, nor trained for politics. He was forged in war. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Lord Hoth, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss our weekly Star Wars deep lore videos. Now back to the archives. Before he became the galaxy's last hope, Hoth was simply known as Ruusan, a Jedi Knight of considerable skill. He had risen through the ranks, not by diplomacy or prophecy, but by unrelenting valor. Unlike many of his peers, Hoth did not fear war. He embraced it, believing that when evil threatened the innocent, the Jedi had a duty to act without hesitation. But was that belief in action what made him a hero or a hammer? Hoth took the ancient title Lord, not to elevate himself above his Jedi brethren, but to reflect the feudal traditions of the era, where Jedi Lords governed sectors and led armies. His title was as much a statement of duty as of defiance. He did not wait for the High Council to grant permission. He formed the Army of Light, calling Jedi from across the galaxy to join him. 12 Jedi Lords answered, then dozens more. Soon thousands rallied to his cause. Knights, Padawans, even retired masters. Hoth promised no glory, only sacrifice. Among them were names etched in legend. Valentine Farfalla, and Keel Charney. But for every Jedi who answered Hoth's call, another hesitated. Some saw him as reckless, others feared he was becoming what he hated. So who was Hoth really fighting? The Sith, or the decay within the Jedi Order itself? As the Brotherhood of Darkness consumed entire sectors, the Army of Light stood as the Republic's last true military force. Unlike modern Jedi generals of the Clone Wars, Hoth soldiers were Jedi first and warriors second, leading grassroots militias, peasant armies, and old planetary defenses into battle. Hoth's strategy was brutal but effective. Deny the Sith strongholds, bleed them across multiple fronts, and force a decisive conflict. But that tactic came with a cost. On Ruusan, Hoth made his final stand. But why Ruusan? The planet was more than a tactical location. It was a vergence in the Force, a crossroads of power. Hoth knew that if the Brotherhood was allowed to corrupt such a nexus, the consequences could be galaxy-ending. He could not risk it. So he gathered all remaining Jedi forces, over 100 of the Order's strongest warriors, and met Lord Kaan's Brotherhood head-on in the bloodiest battle of the entire new Sith Wars. But what Hoth did not realize was that this war would end not with blades, but with a bomb. As the war dragged on, Kaan grew desperate. Though his Sith Lords were powerful, their egos clashed, their unity frayed, and their dark side rituals began to backfire. Hoth's forces, though wary, held firm. Facing annihilation, Kaan turned to a forbidden Sith ritual, the Thought Bomb, a massive concentration of dark side energy, capable of obliterating the consciousness of every Force user in its radius. Hoth learned of the bomb too late. In an act of ultimate sacrifice, he led a final charge into the caves, where Kaan and his Dark Lords had gathered. Knowing full well that the Thought Bomb would destroy his spirit as well, Hoth believed it was the only way to trap the Brotherhood forever. He did not die with anger, not with fear, but with resolve. But what happened to the Jedi who remained? And what became of Ruusan, forever scarred by the minds trapped within its depths? The Thought Bomb detonated. Hundreds of Force-sensitive souls, both Jedi and Sith, were caught in its destination. Their spirits became forever imprisoned in the Valley of the Jedi, an echo chamber of agony and power. Their spirits remained trapped within the caverns by the power of the Thought Bomb, and would not be freed until Jedi Knight Kyle Katarn came to Ruusan over 1,000 years later. The war ended, but the cost was staggering. The Jedi Order, both decimated and leaderless, withdrew from galactic politics. The Republic, weakened, would never fully recover. But Lord Hoth's actions saved the galaxy from Sith domination, at least for a time. His army of light became legend, his sacrifice mourned and revered. Years later, Darth Bane would return to the ruins of Ruusan, solidifying the rule of two. But even he, the architect of the future Sith Order, admitted that Hoth had been a worthy adversary, a symbol of Jedi strength in its rawest form. But is Hoth remembered as a hero or a cautionary tale? In the end, Lord Hoth wasn't a politician. He wasn't a visionary. He was a sword, a blunt instrument wielded against darkness when no one else dared to lift it. And maybe that's why his story matters now more than ever. As the galaxy once again stands at the crossroads of light and dark, the question lingers: do we need philosophers in times of peace, or warriors in times of war? But what do you think? Is the thought bomb one of the most dangerous weapons ever seen in Star Wars? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Next week, we are diving into the history of Coleman Trevor, the often overlooked Jedi who was a lot stronger than you might think. You won't want to miss it. If you are enjoying the videos, become a member and let's uncover the galaxy's biggest secrets together.